right, we are officially live, pal, with this Smackdown review. What's going on, everyone? This is the Kid, DC Wrestling, and I am back once again with a very special live edition of Friday Night Smackdown, the December 17th episode of Friday Night Smackdown. My God, man, what a crazy way to end Friday Night Smackdown, man. Like, absolutely craziness to end the show with Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, and Brock Lesnar. But of course, we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get straight to it. Well, actually, before I get into my Smackdown review, I must say, remember to subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 500 subs. Thinking about doing a very special Q&A when I hit 500 subs. So, make sure you subscribe to the channel and all that good stuff. But we kick things off with Smackdown tonight. We kick things off with a tag team match playa. We were in Chicago tonight. So we had Sasha Banks and Toni Storm taking on Shotzi and Charlotte Flair. And, these four women go on to have what was a solid tag team match, to say the least. We do see Storm. Flair was going for the follow-up moonsault, but Storm gets her knees up, so Storm was able to pin the SmackDown Women's Champion. Of course, it was announced later on in the show that on the Christmas Eve special, that is SmackDown, which will be taped, it is going to be Charlotte Flair versus Toni Storm for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I thought this was a match they were going to make for day one, but obviously it's going to be on SmackDown, so either way, should be a good match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. So, after all that, we get another tag team match play. We get the Viking Raiders taking on Jinder Mahal and Shanky. The Viking Raiders get the win here. It was a solid match, to say the least. It wasn't like a big-time tag team, big fight tag team match feel, but it wasn't like a bad tag team match, to say the least. The Viking Raiders do get the win as Ivar splashes Shanky. So, I'm really liking how the Viking Raiders, because God knows what they could be doing. They could either be eating and catering right now or, doing something else, but I'm actually liking how they're actually are on TV, and Viking Raiders, pretty talented tag team, so it's really good to see them on TV, and it's actually really cool to see them get the win. Ginger, poor Ginger, man. But hey, you win some, you lose some, but you live to fight another day. So yeah. Okay, so we have this big segment with Paul Heyman. There's this SUV pulling up, and we're all thinking, okay, it's the tribal chief, it's the needle mover, referencing the t-shirt. We all think it's Roman Reigns, but it's Brock Lesnar. And, Paul was like, I was not expecting you, Brock. But Brock's like, oh, you were expecting Roman. That's okay. So that was that. So really interesting there. I wasn't even expecting to see Brock there. Like, I thought it was gonna be Roman, but it was Brock. So yeah. Now we get. I did not like the segment. First off, but we get the Adam Pearce, the happy talk with Madcap Moss and Baron Corbin. They're talking about, Drew's sword still being in the desk. They're trying to rip it open, but they can't. Dude, this segment was just like bad, and you had CM Punk chants. When you get a CM Punk chant during a segment, it's not a good segment. When you're getting chants during a match, it's not looking good. In this segment, it just wasn't looking good, because this is literally Madcap Moss the entire segment. Oh, that's a good one, Baron Corbin. That's a good one, Corbin. That's a good one. Like, come on, bro. Like, oh dear God, dude, you don't know how cringe this was. Like, I literally, well, I didn't mute the TV, but I literally had to step away from the TV because, like, come on, dude. Like, it's crazy, dude, because I like Baron Corbin, but damn, was this segment just, it dragged on for so long, and I was so thankful to God when Drew came out. Drew literally saved this segment because I did not care for the segment whatsoever. You know, I feel like what they're doing with Drew, they're putting him in these small, not careable feuds to get him, to build him back up, you know, to potentially fight someone, a big challenger like Roman Reigns. Because let's be real, outside of Brock Lesnar and even Drew McIntyre, there's no one else really to face Reigns. But moving on from this segment, I don't want to drag it on too long. We see Sami Zayn backstage. He goes on about his Universal title shot, and he also talks about the, you know, when am I going to get my Intercontinental title shot? You know, stuff like that. So Adam Pearce decides to do a gauntlet match for next week's Smackdown, and the winner will receive a WWE Intercontinental title shot. So after Shinsuke Nakamura being champion for months, he finally gets an opponent. Like, seriously, when was the last time that Shinsuke defended his championship? But anyways, moving on from that, this should be a good gauntlet match, though. We get Ridge Holland versus Cesaro. I mean, I thought this match was pretty good. Holland hits his sit-out power slam finisher to get the win over Cesaro. So Ridge Holland gets his win back from Cesaro. I mean, good for Ridge. You know, you got to build Ridge up. I feel like he should never lost in the first place. I feel like he should have just really shouldn't have lost the match at all yet. You know, you got to build the guys up. But it is what it is. You know, Ridge gets the win. So, yeah. Okay, so after that, man, we got Naomi versus Sonya Deville. You know, Naomi thinks Santa's coming a little early because she's getting her match against, well, Sonya. Sonya comes out. She's in the suit. She's like, all right, you want this? Let's go. You gonna fight, but you're not fighting me. You're fighting Shayna Baszler again. So Shayna Baszler comes out, attacks Naomi, but Naomi picks up the win. So, yeah, I don't know when they're going to do Naomi versus Sonya, but when it does, the payoff should be good because this has been going on for quite some time now. Not saying I have a problem with it, you know, because it's a story. You know, they're building a story where they're dragging Naomi down, you know what I mean? But payoff should be good. Anyways, after all that, man, we got the SmackDown Tag Team Champs, the Usos, the Bloodline, taking on the New Day. Pretty good match, you know. I've said it before, and if I didn't, I'm going to say it now. You know, New Days and the Usos, man, one of my favorite tag team feuds of the modern era in WWE. You know, the New Day and the Usos are a tag team match I can just watch over and over again and really not get bored. And granted, they're going to fight again at day one. It's New Day and the Usos. May I say more? Should I say more? Kofi nails the Trouble in Paradise as Jimmy was arguing with the ref, so that was that. And now, after that, ladies and gentlemen, we get the main segment of the night after. He wasn't on the show last week, but he is here now. Ladies and gentlemen, the best in the world, the needle mover, the head of the table, the biggest star in professional wrestling, the Tribal Chief, the Universal Champ, Roman Reigns. He comes out. He tells Chicago to acknowledge him. He goes in about how Jimmy and Jay are his bros. They're his cousins, family, blood. But then he looks at Paul. He's like, Paul, you're not family. You're not my blood. Heyman, let me ask you something. Did you know that Brock Lesnar was going to be at SummerSlam? Did you know that Brock Lesnar was going to be on SmackDown? Did you know that Brock's suspension was lifted? So he's really going into Paul, antagonizing him, interrogating him, questioning him, all these things about Brock Lesnar this, Brock Lesnar that. You know, he asks him, can I trust you, Heyman? Can I trust you? I need to know the question, Paul. Are you a special counselor or are you an advocate? So what is Heyman? He can't lie. He's got it. Romans want the truth. So Heyman's like, I'm not protecting Brock Lesnar from you. I'm protecting you, my tribal chief, from Brock Lesnar. And Roman hugs him. He hugs him. You know, the Usos in the background like, this is BS. This is BS. But Roman, he hugs him. He's like, I'm glad that you told me the truth, Paul. And because of that, thank you. But you're fired. So Roman Reigns has officially fired Paul Heyman. He attacks Paul Heyman. Superman punches him. He's getting ready to tear choke this man. But Brock Lesnar comes out. Brock Lesnar attacks Usos, attack Roman Reigns, and that's how Smackdown ends. So as we head into day one, we're 2 weeks away from day one. The question is this officially over for Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman? Man, like, don't get me wrong, I love Roman Reigns. And I understand Roman Reigns is good on his own, but dang, when he's with Paul, it's just as good. So, who knows? Maybe this was, I don't know. I think this is it. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see what happens. But as far as tonight goes, this is really good. And it just leads with more questions that need to be answered. Overall, this was an okay Smackdown, but really glad to see our tribal chief back. See Nation Dog commenting, I'm glad Roman Reigns turned his back on Paul Heyman because it makes the story more interesting. Absolutely, yes it does. It just not only gets you, it gets you really interested in that feud. See Nation Dog, only one here. Well, there are 2 people that are watching this stream, so yeah, but who knows? You might be the only one here. Anyways, that is the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this Smackdown live review, live reaction. This has been the Kid, DC Wrestling. Again, remember to subscribe to the channel, like for more content, man. We are on the road to 500 subs, so we're on the road. Anyways, this has been the Kid, DC Wrestling, and so, yeah.